Okay, so this is my second video on demonstrating how to use Grease Pencil Tools add-on inside the Blender 4.4 beta, which is one that I'm going to use for this Blender tutorial. And once you enable the Grease Pencil Tools on the extension in the preferences, and then when you press N to like show and hide the additional items and tool option bars on the right side of the 3D viewport, and it's going to say here is the Grease Pencil tool options that you can use right here. And I am going to go over each features that are available on right here. And the first one is the box deform. That to do this, I'm going to change the Grease Pencil from draw mode to edit mode, and you select all. What you need to do is just press A to select everything showing up on this canvas, and I'm going to select the box deform. And what it does is going to make a lattice cage that going to shape this drawing based on the lattice box cages that's selected. And I'm going to press G to move one of the vertices, and it's going to shape the illustrations. It's kind of like using a Photoshop transform tools. And after, when you making certain shape like this and you don't like the way it looks, then you press the tab twice to cancel. And I'm going to select the box deform again. And once you select this, then this lattice cage, just select all the Grease Pencil curves showing on the layer. Then it's going to give you an options on the right property menus. And here is the lattice object data properties. And on the resolution new V, and then when I'm going to increase the number, and now it's going to make additional vertice points. And once I move the individual vertices like this, and once you make some really interesting shapes showing on the tutorial right here, and once you want to confirm the shapes that you made, then all you have to do is to press enter or press return key on the keyboard, and now Grease Pencil box deform apply the new shape. Go back to the drawing, and go back to the drawing mode, and you see now the shape is now, and you can see now the box deform has created a new shape based on the lattice tool. And the straight stroke option is simply just make your Grease Pencil curves to be more straight. And zoom 101 is going to make a camera view match the entire screen. And the zoom fit is going to fit the camera view or canvas to fit on the 3D viewport right here. And this feature is simply you can press the home button on keyboard to fit the camera view to the 3D viewport here. And here is the reset rotation and the save rotation. And what I demonstrated in the previous video, when I hold down the Control Shift and middle mouse click, is going to rotate the whole canvas. But what it does when I go outside of the camera view in the camera view mode, the rotation feature does is it's going to rotating the y-axis from the camera view or just a regular 3D viewport outside of the outside of the camera view. Reset all the rotations. And before you rotating a canvas inside of the camera view, then you're going to save the rotation. And I'm going to hold down Control Shift and middle mouse button. It's going to rotate the whole canvas. And this is only going to affect the rotation of the camera. And after I rotate something like this, and this is not the right angle what you're looking for, then I already saved my rotation as a default before, and I'm going to then I'm going to press the reset rotation to reset the camera rotation. And the camera mirror flip is going to invert the camera to look more about oppositions, and Grease Pencil is going to tell you the return button. You can always just go back to the original look like this. And I'm going to mention the feature that I introduced in the last video, which is which is when you hold down the Y on the keyboard, it's going to show all the layers here. And if I click one of the this view icon, it's going to hide the layers. And if you have a lock button, and I click here, go back to edit mode, press tab, and it's not going to affect the Blender is not going to select any layers, just like in Photoshop. And when you're holding down the Y key and show all the layers, but it's also show this gray bar on the top of the layer names, and when you're holding down and drag, it's going to change the opacity of the layer. And this is the affecting on the cleanup lines. And I drag the gray bar, this gray opacity options. It's going to affect the fields layer. And you see there's you're holding a Y key, and it's going to show these a plus buttons, what I'm pointing right here. And once I press this, it's going to make a new layer. It's going to make a new layer on top of the fill, which is what I selected. And there's another additional plus button on the bottom, which is going to create the layer on bottom of the fill layer, which is selected.